Ever felt stuck trying to manage multiple processes or troubleshoot a slow system? What if I told you there's a way to take control of your computer like a pro using just a few commands? In this video, you'll discover powerful tools like Task Kill, GP Update, and RoboCopy that can save you hours of frustration and make you the go-to IT expert. Ready to transform how you handle tech issues? Keep watching. Your future self will thank you. Here we are again, in this new course, which is nothing more than the third part on commands, Task Kill. And let's start right away with the Task Kill command, which, as its name suggests, is a task killer. That is to say, it allows you to kill a running process. In fact, it is simply a command line alternative to the task manager. Here, if you want to delete a program, just right-click and then click on End Task. Well, we'll see how to do it directly on the command line. To get started, you need to open a command prompt, preferably as an admin, to have the highest rights. To display all the possible parameters of this command, simply press a !? At the end of Task Kill. To kill a process, we will use the Task Kill command with the /im option, which allows you to kill a task by its program name. For example, if I do a task kill /im_mseg.x, well, it will close Microsoft's browser directly. You can also display the list of processes that are running with the tasklist/v command. The advantage is that this way, you have the name of the image directly, which you will use to kill a process, as we did with Microsoft Edge, because you had to guess that he had the name msedge.x to be able to kill him. And the /PID parameter allows you to kill a stain by its process ID. The PID is an identifier that allows you to target a process, which is very practical in the event that you have several processes with the same name, as is often the case with a web browser. GPO, Group Policy. We will now quickly talk about group policy, because we come back to it plus in detail on the chapter of security. What is called group policy is a set of tools that are integrated into a Windows server. In fact, it allows the IT department to centralize the configuration of the client workstation, thanks to the application of policies. Having a group policy saves a considerable amount of time for IT support technicians, because they will be able to make a change on a set of workstations simply by launching an order on the client workstation or remotely on all workstations. GPUpdate, a group policy update. In the GPO family, I would like GPUpdate. The GPUpdate command allows you to apply group policies on a client workstation. GPresult, group policy result. In the GPO family, I would like to GPresult. The GPresult command is used to analyze the group policies, GPOs, of the PC. This is a very useful command for support technicians during a troubleshooting. In fact, this command allows you to retrieve a status of the GPOs, group policies, that apply on the client's workstation. Once again, there's no point in going into more depth, because we'll see that, in practice, in the rest of the training. Format. Let's move on to the format command that we have already seen in action when we were talking about the diskpart command. This command also allows you to create a new file system for a hard disk. If we create a new folder in the new 5 GB disk that we had created in the section on partitions, and if we run in both format E, well, it will erase all the data after answering a list of questions. Copy and Xcopy. Let's move on to a command duo that allows copying and pasting on the command line. The main difference between the two is that one will simply copy a folder without the subfolders, and the other will copy all the contents of a folder, including the subfolders. The Xcopy command is therefore the ideal solution to back up your data when you only have access to the command line. For example, on my Data 2 disk, I have 3 folders. A save folder that contains one text file plus one subfolder with another text file, a copy file, and an Xcopy folder. If I run the command copy e.save e.copy/ and then only the first text file of the save directory is copied to the copy folder, the subdirectory, with all its files it contains, will not be taken into account. Now, if I do an Xcopy from the save directory to the Xcopy directory, adding the /e parameter, which allows me to copy the directories and subdirectories, we will find ourselves with all the content of save in Xcopy. Robocopy. Let's move on to the robocopy command, which is an even more modern version of the copy and Xcopy commands we just saw. The advantage of robocopy, compared to the 2 previous commands we just saw, is that it offers plus possibilities on the configuration of backup scripts. And then it's also a lot plus faster than the copy and Xcopy commands. In fact, robocopy allows you to create a mirror of a tree. For example, let's say that the robocopy folder contains files that are not present in the save folder. Well, if I run a robocopy from the save directory to the robocopy folder with the /myr mirror option, not only will it copy all the files in the save directory, but it will also automatically delete the files that are not in this directory. Net use. Before closing this course on Windows commands, we will talk about the net use tool that allows you to mount a hard drive from another PC. In fact, it is simply a sharing. Before that, to understand how it works, we're going to do some preparations in VirtualBox. Currently, we have a VM called Formip Windows 10. What we're going to do is restart a complete installation of Windows to have in all 2 VMs, bridge access. Now what we want is for the 2 VMs to be able to communicate together, and for that, we'll have to make some changes. On each VM, go to Configuration, and in the Network tab, choose the Bridge Access mode. Change the name of the host. Then, to make it plus easy to remember, we will change the host name of each of the PCs. On each VM, press Ctrl plus the X key and click on System. Then, click on Rename your PC and give it a name that is easier to remember. For my part, I put Formip for the first VM we installed, the one where the partitioning of the disk took place, and I put my first name Damien on the new VM installed. Disable Firewall. As it stands, if you try to ping from one VM to another, it shouldn't work. In any case, on my side, it didn't work. I had to disable the firewall on the 2 VMs. Here are the steps to disable the firewall. In the Windows search bar, type Firewall and click on Windows Defender Firewall. Next, click on Enable or Disable Windows Defender Firewall and deactivate it on the 2 VMs. Ping. Now, for each VMs, do an ipconfig to display the IP address of each of the machines, and launch a ping to make sure that your 2 VMs are communicating well. Share hard drive. Now that the 2 machines can talk to each other, we will share the hard disk D, the one we created on the command line with the disk part tool, the disk data. To do this, on the Formip VM, I right-click on the hard disk D to go to its properties. I then go to the Sharing tab, and I click on Advanced Sharing. All that remains is to tick the box, share this file, and validate. Mount the player. Now I'll be able to use the netuse command to mount the drive on my other virtual machine. In a command prompt window, I run the netuse command, followed by the letter I want to assign to the share. In the example, I took the letter Z. Then I put the full path to the folder I want to access. Then I have plus to enter the login and password of the user account who has the rights on this disk. The login is Formip, and the password is 1234. The disk mounts immediately, after the validation of the order, and I can therefore access the D disk of the Formit PC from the VM Damien net user. To check the user accounts you have on your VMs, you can run the net user command.